family, what's up? Woo! Let's go. Hey, I wanted us to have a quick conversation, man, about faith. We're this Sunday talking about My Mark Seed, and this is the Sunday we're bringing our commitments. I know some of you may be nervous, some of you may be excited, but we're going to talk about all of that.
Come on.
Come on.
So the last 4 weeks has been just amazing. Pastor Chris just said some of us been nervous. That was definitely me. But listen, he has been throwing out some great points about faith, and so we're very excited.
Hey guys, can we start with just asking a few questions about faith in this season, the last maybe 3-4 weeks, kind of the journey we've been going through. I want to throw it to Corey and Shamika first. Listen, tell me a little bit about your My Mark Seed, what you guys are believing for, and kind of what you can anticipate for you guys kind of walking into this weekend.
Well, just to be honest, and first of all, we don't have our Mark Seed, but we understand that's okay. We are believing for God to allow us to be full time in our businesses.
Come on.
There's things that we want to do, specifically in the kingdom. We're kingdom minded, and so there's things we want to do, and we want to be full time in our businesses to be able to do those things.
Come on.
Yeah, and I would say in my personal time, one of the things that God said was, I walked outside into my yard and he said, take care of it. He said, prepare.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what do you mean? Like, I don't like cutting the grass. I don't want to get the rocks up. Like, let me pay somebody. No.
Let me
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Oh,
because how can we be in position to sustain something if we're not willing to take care of it with our own hands?
That's good.
He's literally been showing us how to steward right now to get to where it is we want to go. How are we stewarding right now?
Wow.
So he's been preparing us there.
That's so good.
Let me ask you this question, Sean, because you just said it. You don't have all your My Mark Seed. We ain't got all of our My Mark Seed, but I said, God, you got 5 days. You got to get.
Right.
Sean, encourage the people who are just like me and Shamika and Corey, and I'm sure many others who don't have it yet. How do we still stand in faith and believe God? Because you got a story that I believe God gave you and Laura that I think can encourage many people.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, I came today to give a praise report, which is huge because we've never experienced this before, ever. So as we're talking about faith, Laura and I came to this conclusion of we are so inconsistent with our tithes, and we really wanted to put forth not only a better effort, but a consistent effort going forward. And it's not like we needed to do just 10%. It was above that. And that was even hard for me to do in the first place. But to give you this story, we have had the highest grossing cash month we've ever had in our business. Between Laura and myself. We're this close to our Mark Seed. So I know that if I continue to tithe, because Pastor Chris has gotten this amazing word from God, as we continue to tithe, it's coming. It's coming, and it's going to continue to bless.
Come on.
I'm so encouraged by your confidence, because I think the misconception is that tithes and offering is this thing attached to the Mosaic law. And a few weeks ago, God revealed to us that this didn't start with Moses.
Right.
You know, Melchizedek, the beginning, if we look back at Genesis, we see that tithes and offering is actually tied to God showing us how to be good managers and stewards of what he owns, we manage. And so to hear that level of breakthrough in your seed, I hope y'all are getting encouraged right now, because it sounds like, I don't know y'all's number, but it sounds like God, the Holy Spirit threw a big number at all of us.
Come on.
Which shows that this is going to take him doing it, but him getting the glory through that level of faith.
And can I share, Sean? I hope this is okay. I sat at a table with them not even a month ago, and something had shifted with them. I've known Laura and Sean for years now, and something had shifted in their hearts. And they're like, we don't even know how to pay the bills right now. They were at the table, but their perspective had shifted already into saying, but we said we're going to give to God.
Wow.
And so there was a different, they didn't come to the table with like worry and frustration because they knew, no, this is what we're doing first. So to hear that, I wanted to give you like a front end of that vision, because it was like, we couldn't even pay our bills. Now we're sitting in the best cash month we've ever had, just from a level of faith. Even before they even had it in their pocket, they were like, we're good. We're good. I've never seen them in that place before. So I think that is such a beautiful breakthrough.
It goes back to seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing.
Yeah.
There is a law in the spirit of faith that says if you have to see it, there's no need to believe it.
Yeah.
Right? Like for example, if I take this very nice plant and I say, Corey, this is yours. Did you have to believe for that? You didn't have to believe for that because it's in your hands.
Right.
Yeah.
But if I take this plant and I hand you a seed,
Yeah.
because you asked for a plant, but when I give you the seed, your spirit has to have the ability to see
Right.
what we can't see.
See it. Yeah.
We just did this 20 word. Today ended. My God, I fasted coffee for a little bit, and my God,
That first sip.
before I took my first sip of coffee, and before I did it, the Holy Spirit said, can you still wake up and ask me to be your coffee before you take this cup of coffee? Because if you don't, you're still going to be a slave to what you used to be a slave to.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. 21 days, you've been fasting, praying. We were between porch and altar, seeing angels. I'm just joking. During this fast, have you seen any areas of your life that God has brought clarity to?
Yeah. This time has honestly been like one of the hardest times in my life.
Give it the mic. I really want to hear this.
Yeah, it's been really hard. At the beginning, I was struggling. But the last week of the fast, God just he confirmed multiple things over and over again, just things that I was dreaming.
Wow.
And I really felt seen, and I don't want to get emotional because y'all know how I am. But
Aaron's a crybaby.
just a little bit.
We love it.
But yeah, the end of this fast just it confirmed that he has me where I'm supposed to be.
Oh, come on. Christina, we got a question for you in just a little bit, but can I just stop right here? Whether you have your My Mark seed or not, this Sunday is the step where we're just all saying, God, we're committed to what's in your hand.
Yeah.
Not what's in our hands, not what's in our bank, not what's in our possession, but we're just genuinely saying, I trust that whatever you spoke through the Holy Spirit to me and my wife, or to whatever fits for your world, that truly you're learning to say this week by bringing, maybe it's 3%, maybe it's 5%, 50%, 100%. Here's what you're saying. It's, God, I've learned over the last several months to just trust you.
Yeah.
I've learned to put my money where my mouth is. Right? I've learned to not just talk the talk, but actually learn how to walk what I talk. And so I really want you to be encouraged, because this is not about God needing our money. It's about God needing our management skills.
Yeah.
The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, right? Everything in this belongs to him. He teaches us how to be really good managers. Talk to Christina.
Good. Yeah, Christina, I think I've experienced this. I've talked to other people during the fast, and since they've kind of put down their My Mark seed, what blocks have you experienced, and what did you do to kind of position yourself to really combat those?
That's a good question. So usually in fast, I feel like I always hear from God in ways that maybe I wouldn't have, because I was so focused on other things. And this fast was the first fast where he was just like, no, you're not going to hear me clearly. You're going to be like, you have to dig this time. And the opposition that I was feeling was more so the enemy trying to bring old things back to see if I would be distracted.
Wow.
But then the Lord was showing me through visions and dreams, like, this is what I have for you, but if you go back, this is what's going to happen. And so the revelation of God showing me, like, I am where I'm supposed to be, and to just take my time, continue to seek him and sow into him, that he's going to take me where he's going to basically fulfill the seed that I planted. And I'm excited because for my business to grow and for salvations to happen in my family, there's things that I had leaks in areas, and God revealed to me, like, hey, this is what I need you to fix, because of, like, kind of what you guys were saying. If you can't manage what you have here, I can't bring you to where I want to go. So it was scary at first, but then it clicked. Like, the Holy Spirit was like, no, this is good. This is really, really good, because you're setting that up.
Yeah, and I think some of those things are those foundational building blocks. Faith is a foundational building block. So for us, it made sense, right, to start the year going, no, we're going to talk about faith. And what you're talking about is saying, no, I had to dismantle some things, and I now had to come to a firm foundation, set the cornerstone, and now we're going to build the way it was supposed to be built.
Sunday, I mentioned, like, pick up the phone of faith. Like, faith has been calling. I think if we all look back at our life, at some level, we've seen or heard the Spirit wooing us into another level of faith. Has anybody just over the last several weeks experienced that phone call of faith? Yeah? Just, come on, somebody just talk about it. Anybody? Go ahead, Bishop. Go ahead. He was like, my God. Somebody give him the mic.
Just the fact of realizing that he's working, although it's not in front of your face. We were in a position since November where we didn't know how our mortgage was going to be paid. We didn't know how our car was going to be paid, and he still said, "But I want you to do all things unto me." And so, guess what? That meant putting a smile on my face and serving. Although in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm serving, but I'm not seeing the return on the other end.
Wow.
And so, can you still serve? It's a principle in the kingdom. Can you still serve although you necessarily don't see what's in your hand?
Yeah.
Like, is this for what you're gonna get back, or is this for your love for me? And so, yet again, I believe we're in it was a heart posture check.
Wow.
Let me see first. Let me see before we, and every time, every month, all of a sudden, people were giving. They didn't know anything.
Wow.
And so I would say it built up our faith even more to know, like, okay, our culture says, look out for you, do what's best for you, serve those if they serve you, things like that. And so even toward our fast and everything like that, it's been the prepare. But Lord, I don't see no budding in the ground. Prepare. Are you preparing for what you're going to receive, or are you preparing because you love me?
Right.
That's a different ball game, you know?
It's the concept of, do we serve God because of what's in his hands? Or do we serve God because he's a good God?
Lord, right.
Blessings, you're good because you bless me. Or blessings flow because you're good.
Right.
Right?
That's
Like,
good.
most of us got kids. None of our kids have to go to us and beg for food in the refrigerator.
Right.
It's what's mine is yours. And here's what's funny, is what we need, God doesn't need. But he owns. Most of the time, as a revelation, most of the time, you got to give him space. He don't need time. He needs space to get it from the third heaven to the first heaven. what you need it's not a thing in heavenly realm. It becomes a thing in our realm. Lord, I need my mortgage paid. Is there cash in heaven? But I do believe that God sends messengers. But we got to respect that there are realms, and that for every word that God speaks, there is an enemy who is trying to take that in the second realm. So maybe your lesson is in respecting that God is fighting something that you can't see. That your seed is actually on the way. What you want is on the way. He's a good God. What you want is on the way. It's just maybe there is something happening in the spirit realm. That's why we should pay attention to our dreams and our visions and impressions in the spirit. When God says to pray for this, don't think that it was the pizza. Actually start praying because it may be the release of God speaking your name in somebody else's head to bring you what you need. You know what I mean? I just, we could stay here all day long. But let me just wrap this up. We gotta do more of these.
I know, right?
Tomorrow.
This
9 o'clock every day.
join us right here at 3 a.m. every morning. If we could encourage you to do one thing, show up this Sunday with a seed in your hand. It doesn't matter what it is. We're gonna take time. We're going to pray over those seeds. We've already been praying over your commitment this Sunday. Your seed, it doesn't matter whatever the percentage is, get the seed in the ground. Get the seed in the ground. We're going to believe as a family that God's going to do something with that seed. And listen, you may show up with only a portion of it. Let God finish what he started.
So good.
Okay? Let God finish what he started. You do your part. God doesn't need your muscle. He needs your willingness. He needs your participation in seeing in the spirit something that's manifesting in the natural. We love y'all. I can't wait to see you on Sunday. I don't care if there was a blizzard this Sunday.
We're gonna be here.
We coming. I'm coming to your house. I'm gonna bring the blizzard, whatever, snowmobile. We love y'all. On the count of 3, let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go!